Hey, this is Steve and Kelly, also known as Her, with RV to Cycle.
I'm glad you remember my name.
Where in the world have we been, Waldo? Well, if you really want to know, stay tuned. We'll get into that real quick. When we last joined our superhero, he had gotten back to Florida from Pennsylvania, where he had his heart operated on, and it turns out that it was more than a single operation.
Let's see, they replaced your mitral valve. They couldn't take out the old one, so they left the old one in and put a valve inside of that one. Then they also did what they call a maze procedure, which is kind of like a mini ablation.
And they did that because I had developed AFib again.
Yeah, there seems to be a pattern. And then they put a patch over the atrial appendage. It was described as, it's kind of like an appendix. Everybody has one, but they don't know what it's for. So it causes problems for people with AFib. Blood collects in it and clots, and that's where the clots form and can cause problems. Unfortunately, there was a clot in that atrial appendage, which they removed, and they put a patch over it, and supposedly that's going to kind of just shrivel up and go away and not collect blood anymore if he goes back into AFib, which we're hoping he doesn't. So, anyway.
Yeah. 17th of July 2023, Kelly had a phone call with one of the PAs from the surgeon's office, and the short version of that very interesting call, it was a little bit of a heated discussion, was the recommendation from the surgeon's office that Kelly get me to the nearest emergency room. And so we did that. And so spent 12 hours in
the emergency room.
In ER.
Because they had to figure out what was going on. They knew he had
shortness of breath.
They had shortness of breath. They didn't know what was causing it. They took x-rays, and he had a pleural effusion on his right lung. So he had a lot of fluid in there. Not
in the lung, but surrounding the lung. And that made it difficult for me to breathe, which was causing the shortness of breath.
Yeah.
The decision was to put in a chest drain tube.
Because there was so much. He had only like 30 to 35% of his lung capacity.
And so they made an incision on the right side.
After they gave him what he thought was going to be happy juice, but
yeah, I don't know. I know the drug starts with a K, and it's supposed to be one of those twilight drugs, and they said, oh, this will give you sweet dreams. It gave me nightmares. I'm telling you, and I was only out for about 30 minutes, but it was the worst experience I'd ever had. As far as I knew, I was living in the Matrix, and it was not a good, I wasn't the chosen one at all.
All right, enough of that. So,
but we got through it.
Well, but when they stuck the scalpel in him, he kind of exploded like a piece of ripe fruit.
So they said.
Well, the evidence was all over the floor, the bed, your clothes, the people in the room.
Yeah, I did actually wake up enough at that point to hear something running into the floor, and I asked, is that me bleeding into the floor? And I had to ask it twice, because I think the first time it was just asking in my head, but the words were verbalized the second time. And they said, yeah, there's a little seepage.
There was more than a little. And it wasn't blood, it was just all the fluid that had built up in the chest cavity. And like I said, once they poked him with the scalpel, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, and so they put the water hose in me. That's what it felt like. It felt like a 3/4 inch or 1 inch.
It was probably as big around as my thumb, if not bigger.
Yeah, at least that big.
at least
Yeah.
this big around.
To
I
dr-
saw they brought them in, showed them to us before they put them in there. They were in those long tubes,
Yep.
a tube inside of a tube.
Yep. Yep. And then they ended up draining. What was
1,700 cc's about.
it? Yep.
That's what they actually. Well, no, they probably collected about
Yeah.
11 or 12 because they said about 300 went all over the floor.
One on the floor. Yeah. Yeah. So that was on the 17th, and they put me up in.
Yeah, they put him in the hospital. They kept him till the 20th.
To the 20th. Let me go home on the 20th, and I've continued to have improvements. So I'm walking further each day. I'm not struggling as much for the breathing, though there is, on occasion, there is some struggling because it's so doggone hot down here. And I've also been improving my lung capacity. There's a little device called an incentive spirometer, which you're supposed to use after surgery to help increase your lung capacity. And I've been slowly improving each day, a little bit each day, but it's made a huge
Big
difference. Huge
Yeah, because I
difference.
told him if he didn't keep up on that, he was going to go back in the hospital.
And it'd be a worse surgery.
Yeah, and a worse surgery. Yeah, because there was so much fluid pushing the right lung in towards everything else, it developed what they called a scab. And if he didn't get that lung inflated, they were going to have to go in there and, like she said, rough it up so that it would adhere to
The pleural.
the pleura and stay fully inflated. So
Yeah, but we're not going to
Yeah, we're
hopefully
not.
go there. We have a post-op meeting with a thoracic surgeon on
here in Florida,
Yeah, here in Florida.
on the
Next
2nd.
that's next Tuesday, August the 2nd. And hopefully we're going to get a clear, clean release. And so how do I feel? Right now, my innards still feel like somebody's been in there dancing around. Now I just have some soreness. And as things are beginning to heal, itch, oh yeah, but I haven't scratched anything, don't want to scratch anything.
I have to wear
don't-
mittens to bed.
Yeah, so scratch something and it starts to bleed. You know,
Yeah,
that
no,
that
we're
could
not
be
going there.
That could be all she wrote. All right, hope this clarified for you. Lost my voice. I hope this clarified for you where we've been, what we've been up to. Yeah, we're still in Florida, and we're not going to be hitting the road until we get the okay from the thoracic surgeon who's here in Florida. If you got any questions, just drop them in the comment section below and we'll get to them. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hey, and we really do getting choked up. Appreciate all the concerns, the prayers, the well wishes from all of you out there who have been keeping track of my health and her mental stability. There's days where there's not been an attempted homicide yet, but we've been close a couple times.
I threatened to pick off his scabs and let him bleed out.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.